Hello everyone, welcome to Ubud. So as you know, Ubud is not only a co-working space, we also organize more than 430 events a year. That means that we have more events than days in a year, which is really funny. Yeah. And today we have Mike and Jerry. So Mike will tell you how to master your prospect attention, and then Jerry will tell you how to guide the conversation and much, much more. And before the guys start, I just want to tell you about other events this week. Tomorrow we're having a social hour. It is going to be in the House of Schnitzel. It's our partner H-Pass. So if you have your H-Pass, then you'll get 15% discount for the cocktails. It's pretty nice thing, just to meet each other, because like in the co-working space you tend to work, and if you want to meet new people, come there. It's going to be tomorrow in the evening. And another last announcement. We are having Fuck Up Nights on the 21st of June. What is Fuck Up Nights? It's a special event. Yeah, just maybe you don't know. It's a special event where people tell about their failures. The thing is, we all are successful people. Most of you have your e-businesses, but we never know how many businesses you know and how many businesses you failed before. And it's really nice chance to show how you got your challenges, how to go through your challenges. So, if you want to be a speaker for Fuck Up Nights, just contact me or Cash, or just come to is there behind? Just find us, and we will really appreciate you to contact us. Thank you, and now once again, welcome the guys.
I am the guys. Hi everyone. Oh wow, what a great turnout. This is awesome. Like it. How many people we got in the room? 30 people? Okay, cool. How's everyone doing? We good?
Good.
Can you all hear me at the back of the room? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I've got a question for you to think about. Do you not think that attention, right, is a bit like currency?
Yep.
Attention, think about it. You know, it's scarce. We have a certain amount of it to spend, right? And we put it on things that we think are going to give us some value in return, right? We expend a certain amount of attention each day on the things that we think are important, right? Sometimes those things are worthwhile, like this talk, and other times they're not. You might buy a coffee you don't really like, or you might buy a sandwich or go to a place you don't have a great meal, for instance, and you've expended attention that you wished you hadn't really. So think about attention as like currency. These are the three things that I would say, four things actually, that you can actually compare attention to currency with. Attention can be split. It's finite, it can be spent, as I mentioned, and you can also budget it. So you only have a certain amount of attention in any given day to actually spend on stuff. So you better think that when you're actually being someone who is out there presenting or giving something that you consider to be of value, you need to bear in mind that other people's attention is a finite resource, just like the attention I have of yours very kindly in the room for this 90-minute period. You know, I value the fact that you're giving me this attention for as long as I keep you interested. All right? So that's the first thing I want you guys to think about. Now, the interesting thing about attention compared to trust and reputation is that you can buy a little bit of that attention. Would anyone like to offer an example of how you can buy attention? Take a guess. Advertising, exactly. So when you go to Facebook and you put an ad up, or you go to Google AdWords and you throw an ad up on Google, what you're doing is you're buying a little bit of attention, right? Now, if you haven't got anything to follow through on, then that money is going to be wasted, right? And the purpose of today is all about taking that attention and actually taking it all the way through a process so that at the other end you're giving people exactly what they want in a way that they understand it and in a way that they've been heard. So that's what this talk's about. It's called Get Noticed. Can I have the water please, Jerry? Thank you. It's called Get Noticed, and it's all about mastering the currency of attention. Now, can everyone see the slides okay? Because we're going to be going through quite a clip, right? And I really want, you guessed it, your attention. Right, so let's get clapping. Clapping? Clapping. So my name's, who is this guy? Who is this guy standing in front of you talking about attention? Well, my name is Mike Mindel. I am the CEO, or currently the founder. I have another CEO actually. CEO and founder of wordtracker.com, which is a mind-reading tool for the internet. And you may be wondering what a mind-reading tool is. Well, basically, we track what people search for online on Google, right? Because if you know what people search for, then you know what they're focusing their attention on, right? We've had some big people, Cosmopolitan, Hearst magazines, all the usual candidates. And this is what it looks like. You basically put a search term into our tool, like cheap hotels, and you get back the search results that you would find in Google. So cheap hotels would be at the top with 301,000 per month, and cheap hotels near me, 49,500, and so on and so forth. And it's a very, very good way of seeing what people are actually thinking of at any given time. Now, Jerry, I just need to know, can you give me a time check? Do you mind putting a timer up so I know how much time I got left? Yeah, cheers, out of the 45, thank you. So, the key thing to realize is this, yeah? We all search on Google, right? Well, I think most of us do. Reasonable? Yeah? Yeah? Who doesn't search on Google? Which of you does not search on Google? Come on, but don't be shy, you know. I think there's Ducks a Go-Go. Anyone? No? Okay. So the question is, how much attention do you give something when you search for it, right? Because in that moment, you really want something, right? You're going to Google, you want something, you're really, really focused, and you say, I want this thing right now. You look at the results, you say, that one's good, that one's not good, blah, 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 right? But actually, you're giving your full attention in the moment as you're searching for something. So when you go to Google and you search, say, how to tie a tie, which is completely irrelevant out here in the bud, because I don't think I see a single tie in the room, but let's just say you did, all right? You search how to tie a tie, you go to Google, you get a result for how to tie a tie, you choose the best one, which in this case is learn how to tie a tie. And then what Google's really doing, it's in the conversation starting game, right? The conversation starting game. So what Google's doing is saying, please start a conversation with me, because I want your attention, and I want to take your attention and I want to move it elsewhere. That is what Google does. It literally sucks up the whole internet, gets all of your attention when you really want something, and then passes it through to the websites that it deems are the best websites to serve your attention. And if you don't do it, you click away, what do you think happens? Google delists the website, or if they don't, then Google themselves have a problem because they're not serving the people who want the stuff that they want, right? So, online, this is a key idea. Conversations revolve around the words that you use. All right, so I'm going to start going into this, right? Thanks, mate, that's perfect. Conversations revolve around the words that we use. So what do you think a conversation is? Can you put your hand up and give me an idea of what you think a conversation is?
Questions.
Questions? Keep going. Let's have some more ideas. Come on.
Back and forth.
Back and forth, that's really good. Yeah, keep going.
Interaction.
Interaction. Yeah, you notice how conversations involve more than just one person. Conversations are two-way streets, a back and forth. And conversations are happening all the time, everywhere. So think about when you got up this morning and you went to get a coffee, right? You're thinking to yourself, oh, you know what, I quite like that coffee place down Hanneman. What's it, Cinnamon Cafe, is it? Yeah, there's that one, and there's that other coffee place over there. And you ask your friend, have you had a good coffee today? Where have you had a coffee in the last week that's really good? This is a conversation that your marketplace is having all the time. You had a conversation to even arrive at this talk today. You thought, you know, okay, what's this get noticed thing? Yeah, I want to get noticed, sure. What are the other talks? I don't know, there's that one. I don't want to go to that one because it's, I might do that one. And then you arrived at a series of decisions, of choices that led you towards coming today at 12:30 to this talk. So in the process of what I was doing, that was my job, to master your attention and bring you here at 12:30 so that I could talk about this stuff using, guess what, your attention. So online, these conversations are happening, actually offline as well, but more online more than anything. They're happening all the time. Now, who would like to put their hand up and tell me how many searches per year you think Google actually does? Come on, don't be shy.
Billion.
Huh?
A billion?
A billion. We have a billion over here. Next person. Trillion. That's better. Keep going. Keep going. It's more than a trillion.
30.
Huh?
30 billion.
Okay, she said a trillion. You are listening, dude. Right, 1 trillion was the closest. It's actually 2 trillion conversations per year, right? 2 trillion conversations per year. How many do you want to be a part of, right? If anyone's saying here, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to get people, I don't know how to get cut. Google's offering you 2 trillion searches a year, conversations a year. They're talking. People are in their minds thinking about stuff and putting it into Google, right? Now, another idea, a market. Give me some ideas. What do you think a market is?
The buyers, the customer, engagement.
With the supply and demand.
Supply and demand. Yeah, that's great. Any other suggestions for what a market is?
Goods, services.
Goods, services, all that stuff. And that is the common sort of understanding about what a market is, right? Well, markets are literally offline. They're places where people trade and goods and services are exchanged with each other. That's traditionally what a market is. You go to a local market, you have buyers, you have sellers. That's the common understanding. Thing is, this is Camden Market in London as an example of what I'm talking about. So a physical place where people actually hang out and buy stuff, right? Now, online, this is the key idea. Online, there is actually no geographical location. Have a think about it. You don't have a Camden Market. What you have are web addresses which are literally 1 click away from each other. There is no geographical sense of a place online, you see? All right, it's an important thing to get, because what happens is people then have to convert the conversation that they're having in their heads into words. They're not saying, okay, well, I need to go down the market and buy myself a t-shirt that's going to last 3 washes. They're not doing that, right? What they're doing is they're saying, all right, I need to carry some shot glasses in my luggage, but they take up too much space. What do I do? And they get onto Google, and what do you think they do with all those words? What do you think they do with all that conversation that's inside their heads? That's right, they shorten it and they stick it into Google. Collapsible shot glasses, right? So that, I need to carry shot glasses in my luggage, but they take up too much space, literally gets compressed into collapsible shot glasses. That's how it gets compressed, you see? That conversation is now happening by that person looking to enter the market, right? They're entering the market, and the thing is, Google and words, they're replacing any sense of physical location, you see? So words are doing so much more, right? So that's the result they'd get from collapsible shot glasses, right? As you'd expect from Google. But they're not going to a physical location to do so, all right? Does that make sense? Right, the key idea, words are markets online. Markets, not physical, no geographical place. Online, words themselves are the actual markets, the conversations that are happening. You get it? Markets are revealing themselves through the words that people use when they type them into Google, when they type on Facebook, when they're entering the words everywhere, accompanying a video you might do, right? The markets are starting to reveal themselves through the words, right? That's the point. And words, right, are markets, and markets are conversations. I need to carry shot glasses in my luggage. They put collapsible shot glasses in Google. They get the response. The words that people use, they are the markets online. They are the conversations that people are having in their heads. You get it? It's a super key distinction, and one I really recommend and suggest you have a think about after this talk, right? I'll share the slides, so that you can go through this again. All right. Do you mind if I save questions for after, just because I need to go quite a clip? Words are the markets, are the conversations, and I couldn't resist adding, oh my. I discovered this about 5 years ago, and when someone was talking to me about conversations, and I was like, well, isn't that just what you and I are having? And he goes, yeah. There's just one thing about that. It's not just you and me having the conversation, it's all the conversation. Right now, in your heads, you're having a conversation about me. You're going, yeah, I like this guy's right, or you're just going, no, I don't know what he's talking about, mate. Yeah, the conversation's markets, or you're going, yeah, I get that, yeah, markets, you're having a conversation about me, right? When this goes out, the conversations in people's heads that I have no idea what are happening are still going to happen. There's a conversation outside about people talking about coffee still. All the time, right? Coffee and yoga, right? in Ubud. The conversations are happening all the time, and here's the thing: you may not be ready, right, for this conversation, but the conversation of your market is always there. You may not be ready, but the conversation always is, right? So just because you're not around and you don't like this doesn't mean that the conversation isn't happening outside of this room, outside of you, everywhere. It's just a question of how do you get into that conversation. You get me? Cool. Right, now let's go into a little exercise. This is a couple of minutes, right? This is basically about, we talked about words and how you put them into Google and search terms or whatever. But words themselves are also things that you can command for yourself. All right. Now I'm a digital entrepreneur. I also call myself an hippie. You know, mixture of technology and spirituality. That's my brand. That's what I like to call myself. Right. Here, for anyone who's been speaking to me, I'm crypto guy. I'm working on a crypto flip trading project. You know, it's probably. In fact, how many people in the room know I do crypto? All right. So not a huge amount, but like the conversation's out there. Right. So and this is Jerry over here. He's the funnel guy, right? So it's very easy to position me and Jerry. You know what we do, right? What's your word, guys? What's your word? What's the word that you want to hook onto? All right. So we'll get to that in a sec. I'm just going to mention a couple of words myself. So what I'd like you to do is just very quickly write down. If I mention the word coffee, write down the top 3 brands' words that come to mind. I'll just give you 20 seconds for that. Can you hear me okay, by the way? It's okay? Yeah, cool. Great. Right, now the second thing I want you to think about is when I say yoga, what brands come to mind? It can be here in Ubud, or it can be anywhere. And finally, when I mention the word, you ready for it? Hamburger. Write down the top 3 things that come to mind. Right, guys, now shout them out. Coffee, what do we got?
Starbucks.
Luwak.
Monkey cake.
Well, it's quite varied, isn't it? I heard Starbucks first, right? But you notice how Starbucks gets us straight away, right? How about hamburger? What do we got?
McDonald's.
Everyone says McDonald's. How do you think someone is going to compete with the word hamburger? Not very successfully, right? I think Crook's sewn it up, isn't he? Right? And what about yoga? Shout out yoga.
Yoga Barn.
Yoga Barn. Now, Yoga Barn is the McDonald's of hamburger in Ubud, isn't it? It might be worth studying that. Why does Yoga Barn have the yoga of hamburger? Well, it's interesting, isn't it? What did they do right? Right? They locked onto the word yoga in Ubud, didn't they? Because if you go somewhere else, it might not be Yoga Barn, but in Ubud, it is. Right? And there's loads of yoga places. Okay. Right. So, which word do you want to own? Now, I don't really have a flavour of the kind of people in the room. How many people here? Your eyes are really screwing up, like you're really concentrating. I love it. I love it. It's really nice feedback. Thank you. How many people are coaches? Okay, hands down. Entrepreneurs. Okay, so it's a kind of eclectic mix. Who else do we have in the room? What other types of people do we have here? Shout them out. Web developers. Yeah, web designers. Have I forgotten one? Writers. Okay. All right, so very eclectic mind. Okay, so everyone here could own a different word, right? There's a different word that you can own. I own digital entrepreneur, right? My friend James Lavers, who I talk about a lot of this stuff with, he has video influence expert as his word. Jerry is the funnel guy. What's your word, guys? What's the word that you want to get? Now, I recommend not going after something like writer because, well, Stephen King, right? But you could have romance writer, or you could actually just niche right down and choose an area like I don't know, psychological horror writer, you know. But whatever word grabs your attention, yeah, that's the thing to start thinking about and creating your attention marketing brand around. But may I make a suggestion that you only choose one word, just one, in any given moment. right? I mean, here I'm crypto, but outside I'm doing something else. But for whatever I want to attract, I choose that word in the space that I'm in, okay? Now, here's how to guarantee that you won't succeed. Would you like to know what that is? Yeah? Would everyone like to know how not to get it right? It's like this. It's very simple. To guarantee that when you do your marketing, no one even recognizes you. The way that happens is if people cannot pigeonhole you in their minds. All right? When you have an amazing brand, let's say, what is like a Clinique, but it's like some other kind of brand, a beautiful, luxurious beauty brand, right? They could have the most amazing product. But if people can't say, oh yeah, that's the brand, that's the natural beauty brand, or that's the brand for, I don't know, for 40-year-olds or something, I don't know. Whatever, however they're positioning. If you just have a brand for everybody, you have no brand, right? And that's where things go wrong, because you don't position things in people's minds. So if you haven't got a hook, if you haven't got your word and your hook, your place, your nest, as James puts it, your nest in the mind, right, then people are just going to ignore you, because they'll just look for something else that will do what they need, right? And it won't be you, right? So just think about that, okay? So what we're going to get into now, 20 minutes left, we're going to get into, now that we've talked about attention and we've talked about how you place things in people's mind, this is how you actually get noticed in the market. This is the stuff I'm really excited about, okay? And the way you do it is, first you discover the conversation. Remember, we talked about conversations happening everywhere, right? Discover the conversation, you enter the conversation, and then you expand the conversation, all right? Right, so you discover the conversation where it's happening, you're going to enter the conversation, and we're going to expand the conversation. Because if you just, I can guarantee, another way of getting ignored, if you just go, oh, well, I do NLP, and NLP is a practice where people are able to influence other people. No one's going to listen to you. No one cares, right? People only care about what you can do for them right in that moment. And if you're the guy that does this, and there's another guy that does that, and you can be compared because you're this guy, the guy, you're in the conversation. If you're just another guy who talks about what is this thing or what is that thing, you will be ignored, right? So, where are the conversations online? That's the thing. They're everywhere, right? You can look on Facebook. You could do a search on Facebook. You could do a search on Pinterest. You could do a search. How big is the internet now? Like, how many billions of people on? How many forums are in the internet? You know, there's so many places where people talk stuff, right? There's so many places for you to find and enter the conversation. Like if we're doing, let's say we're talking about your friend Sanjay, the nutrition guy is coming up in Jerry's talk, you know, if he wants to talk about nutrition, he will find all the places where people talk about nutrition, and I guarantee there are going to be tens of thousands of places, you know. So that's why if you need to find the conversation, just do a search on Google, go to the forums, it's all there, right? Now, the other thing about conversations is they are about problems and aspirations, right? You've either got a pain, like a pain in your head, right? You got it's hurting, it's ow, how do I fix this? Or you want to aspire to something else. I want to be a magician, right? So there's no pain in being a magician other than practicing the tricks over and over, right? But basically, you're either moving towards something or away from something. So think about conversations in that way. And your goal in this entire thing is to get chosen quicker, right? Get chosen before everyone else. That's the whole point. Because there's so many places that, you know, so many other competitors. And now we're going to get into that. How long we got? 18. Thank you. Right, so the way to do it, this is the magic of this whole session, right? What is taken for granted in your marketplace, right? What are the status quo? What are the things that people often say, this is how you do it? I think in the diet industry, you know, you do a diet, you run a bit and you eat an apple a day. These are all the kind of the common status quo statements that any market has. Someone said they were a writer. Was that yourself over there? Sorry, what's your name?
CC.
Hi, CC. What is a status quo statement that a writer says? Like, what does the market say in the writer's market?
Well, I guess it's quite different because I'm a ghostwriter.
Okay. So
I
the
guess
ghostwriter.
the common problem would be like people want to write, but
Yeah.
they don't have the time.
Okay, I don't have the time. Yeah, exactly. I don't have the time. And what would be something else that the ghostwriter, the status quo of the ghostwriting market? Other people who are also ghostwriters might say to each other.
Right.
What might they say? Can't think it? No?
There's nothing.
Okay, so what I would say is, if you actually, a good way of actually finding out what that information is, by the way, is actually to survey your list. If you've got a list of emails, to actually do a survey, and someone to write down is Ryan Levesque, Levesque, Ryan Levesque, and he has a book called Ask, where you can actually ask your customers or clients about what they're interested in, what their biggest challenge is, and the language that they use, those patterns will actually tell you what the status quo of the market is. You know? I think Stephen King talks about in writing quite a lot, doesn't he? His book called On Writing, and he talks about it's good to remove the adjectives or something like that, and he writes every day, morning pages. I think these are all the kind of things that people say. So what's happening is you're looking for the status quo, right? The thing that everyone says is the thing to do. So in diet markets, in losing weight, yeah, do a diet, right? And what you want to do is you want to contrast the existing paradigm, right? So if I wanted to jump in and say, right, I want to get into the weight loss market, what am I going to do? I would come in and say, you know what? All diets are shit. They're going to make you fat. Right? Diets make you fat. Now, of course, I'm not going to lie. I need to have something to back that up, right? So if that's not true and I haven't got anything to counter it, don't say that. But you know, if there's a body of work and it's actually shown that diets actually end up harming you rather than helping you, you know, you can use that. The point I'm trying to get across, right, is that you're looking at a status quo and you're actually flipping it. And you're saying, actually, I believe the opposite is true. Because if you're on the radio, let's imagine we're on the radio and it's like, hey, Mike Mindel, he's on the thing talking about weight loss. What have you got to say? Well, most people believe that diets are important, but I'm here to tell you that I think they make you fat. Right? So immediately what happens is, right, it's my Bruce Lee moment, right? What you're doing is you're entering the conversation, all right? You're having your Bruce Lee moment. You're literally, it's almost like you're going, this is what I think. And you can do it in whatever way you want, right? But the whole purpose is getting attention. I mean, you could do it very subtly. You could say it very quietly if you want. Do you mind if I just save it to the end? Just only because I've got to whiz through. Yeah, thanks. You basically, 15, thank you. So that's how you do it, right? You enter the conversation by coming up with something that opposes the existing paradigm, all right? And then what happens is you create a vacuum. Now, I spent 10 whole minutes coming up with that image, right? That is actually an octopus. And he's got a little suction arm, all right? Now, I was trying to find all these different... this is the coolest octopus I have ever come across, all right? And we are creating the vacuum, all right? So what happens is you put that statement out there, you are creating a vacuum, and if you do not fill it, someone else will fill it for you, right? So what you want to do is you come in and say, this is what I think, and they go, what do you mean? And you clarify and say, well, I don't mean that all diets make you fat. Of course, that would be silly. What I mean is the way that most people go about them is probably not conducive to like losing weight or whatever, right? Point is, you're actually consolidating your message now that you've got the attention on you, right? Okay, creating the vacuum. And then what you do, all right, that's a cat and a bottle of bottle of Captain Morgan spiced rum. All right, what's the best remedy for a headache? Well, it's your version of whatever the aspirin is for your market. So this is the next important bit. When you've got that vacuum and you're filling it up with stuff, right, and you've said and clarified your statement, right, the thing is, you then need to give what your version of the aspirin is for that headache. Right? This is an important thing. People talk about the lead magnet, all right? Who here has heard about the lead magnet? Yeah? Okay, only a few. Okay, well, lead magnet in internet marketing terms is basically it's exactly what it says on the tin. You have a PDF or a brochure or something like that, and you're offering it in exchange for someone's email address. Now, I personally get bored by the whole thing unless I'm providing an aspirin for the market, all right? So if I've said that thing about weight loss and whatever, and I've got a report after that that's saying why I believe there's a problem with the weight loss diet industry or whatever, I'm going to capture a lot more attention than if I come in and say, hey, yeah, guys, I've got like 7 ways to make you thin. You know, you're just not going to listen unless I've inverted the message, created a vacuum, and delivered my version of the aspirin, and that is what I call a lead magnet. All right, because you're attracting a lead. That's what you're giving an email. People are getting, you're asking for people's email addresses for. You're not just saying, give me your email and I'll give you something, whatever. You're saying, look, I believe there's this going on, right, which is the opposite of what you think is really happening. In fact, guys, the very thing that you think is helping you may actually be hurting you, right? Then that's the vacuum, you see, right? And that's when I'll give my report, because then who's not going to listen to me? Right? Okay, so there's various channels that you can use. There's email, Facebook ads, messenger bots. I think Joe will go on about that. Some Google ads. There's plenty of channels where you can get that message out. All right, you with me? Yeah, we're going to focus on email for the next part and the last 12 minutes. And I'm going to drive right into a case study. Can everyone still hear me okay? It's not too loud. It's okay, about the right level? Yeah? Yeah, someone, yeah, great. Okay, so email, guys, email. Who uses email in their marketing? Oh, come on. Really? Half the room? Seriously? Who doesn't use email in their marketing? Come on, don't be shy, it's fine, I'm not going to judge you. Oh, look, one person. I really don't believe you. Yeah, okay. I don't believe you. I reckon that the other half of the room did not put their hand up. Anyway, look, what I meant to, you've actually gone right back into your seat. Alright, basically, what I want to get across here, right, email marketing has the highest return on investment out of everything. I know there's all these fancy bots and all this stuff coming out, but email will, and always will, in my humble opinion, be the highest ROI, return on investment you can get in marketing. Right? That's why people have big marketing lists, right? For this reason, it's where usually most of the money comes from, all right? This study done by Brandon Gale and Ascend2 Research shows that email marketing ROI 4,300% for $40 for every $1 spent. It's the easiest, the most affordable way to get noticed. All that stuff I told you about the message and the conversation, you can put it in an email, all right? More than one email, all right? Yeah. And the way you can do that is use this thing called automation. Who here has heard of email marketing automation? Oh, a third of the room. Okay, cool. Right, well, basically, guys, as it says on the tin, right, automation is where you do automated stuff that doesn't involve you, all right? You write it once, people go into this funnel, as we'll talk about shortly, and automated stuff happens where you were there once writing it all out, right? But you're not there the next time someone comes through. And you can actually automate like 90%, yeah, of everything you're doing, and then leave the other 10% for you to interact with the customer at various touch points, okay? So what I want to get across, yeah, when you're doing automation, this is the key thing. Please stop sending everything to everybody, all right? If you've got a big list of 10,000, please, stop sending 10,000 emails in your freaking newsletter every freaking week to the same freaking people, right? Because if you really want to increase your conversion rate, and I mean really up it, the thing to get into is segmentation. All right, who here's heard about segmentation? Right, now, okay, like it's 2/3 of the room, so I'm speaking a language now, okay? Segmentation on this this survey by Ascend2 is one of probably the most effective tactic in email. If you literally want to increase the amount that people open and convert from your messages, just segment them. That means, what that really means, right, if we really look at it, is dividing the emails into separate parts or sections. We're breaking things down. So that 10,000 is basically being broken down into sections. You're speaking to people in different ways, right? I couldn't resist belaboring the point with a big pie, right? You're breaking it down, yeah? So basically what you're doing is you're talking to smaller groups of people for a better response. And the way I would normally do this, but I don't have a Twix, banana, or fruit pastels on me. But just imagine the idea, right? If you lot over here are, say, Twix, and you guys at the back are bananas, and you guys love fruit pastels, let's just say, for the sake of argument, suspend your yoga judgment, and let's just say you do, right? If I come to you and I say, hey guys, yeah, who wants sweets and bananas? You're just going to go, yeah, all right, whatever, right? But if I go over to the Twix guys, right, and I go, hey guys, I know like bananas, right? I do too, but I got this amazing Twix, right? It's not just any ordinary Twix, right? It's like a shiny, it's a shiny Twix with extra caramel at the centre and on the out. Like, who's going to say no to that? You know, you're talking to them in a way. Bananas. We love Twix, of course we do, but we want to be healthy today, right, guys? Yeah, who wants a banana? You get the idea, right? You send different messages to different segments of your audience, right? And that's how you increase. Does that make sense? Right? Yeah, cool, good. Right, now, how to segment. Here's a key idea. Don't use lists, right? That's my kind of stand in the middle moment. It's like, what? No, what do you mean? I've got loads of mailing lists on Aweber and bloody MailChimp. Fuck you, man. Like, I've got all my lists. Ugh. All right, that's my kind of flip the message moment. All right, what I mean is, guys, no, seriously, right? If I'm going to speak to Brian over there, I don't make a copy of Brian, right, to speak to him about something else, do I? Right? Duplication of Brian does not happen in the room, right? What happens is, right, that I assign ideas to the single Brian that's there. So why would I copy someone into another list? It doesn't make sense. Why not just have one list, right, and segment people using tags? Right? And this is the key idea of this section, right? Use tags, right? Tags. You know what tags are. You know tags. Come on, we've used it. Look, tags. Who knows what tags are? Yeah, everyone. Yeah, tags. Relationships, data. Like, we know how to tag things. We've been using the internet for ages, right? Yeah. So basically, the way I do it is I use this thing called structured tags, right? So a structured tag is basically you put the type of something at the front, and then you put a colon, and then you kind of augment it a bit, right? So what you're seeing here is I'm talking about my burlesque cabaret show called the Wham Bam Club, which is burlesque, comedy, magic and music in London at the Royal Albert Hall on most Saturdays. And what I do is I take people who've been to the show and I ask them to fill out a card, and then I tag them with status visitor. And what that happens is that then triggers off an automation, right? To try and get a review, and I'll show you in a second. The key thing right now is to get that these tags, I can add multiple tags to an individual person. So not copy them into a separate list, have one person, one list, multiple tags, right? And that's how you can build a profile of your customer, essentially, okay? So let's take this person, Jimmy Rivet. I could say, okay, well, I've got his address, I've got his age. By the number of times I send him marketing emails and he opens them, I can tag him how many times he clicks on those. And I can start building up a profile of each person. See? I can build up an actual profile of each person that I'm talking to, right? Which you can use later. So in my case, who's your prospect? Status. What type of prospect are they? They're a visitor to the show, they're a card holder, they have money, they are a corporate customer, right? I don't have three lists, I literally tag these people with the separate types of customer that they are, so I can speak to them later with my email, right? I hope this is starting to sink in, you're starting to get the idea, right? So, another thing, they come to the show, did they like the show? Yeah? So, I click review, loved, enjoyed, liked, was okay, hated, yeah? This helps me understand whether they like the show or not. What action did they take? Did they leave a suggestion? An office party inquiry? I'm starting to build up a profile of my customers, right? And this is called structured tags. Structured tags, right? Tag would be just loved it. Structured tag would be it's a review, right? That's the type of tag, loved it. And where this is important, sorry, this is the actual list of me building it up in a spreadsheet. So I'm building up the list of tags. But where it's important is, this is my Wham Bam show. So it just gives you a look and feel of what we're talking about, Feast of Fantasy. Where it's important is you start using the tags inside your email system. So who here uses MailChimp? Right, Aweber? Right, who's heard of ActiveCampaign? Right, hardly anybody in the room. Who here's heard of Drip? Right, a couple of people. Now, if there's one thing I'd like you to action after this, and I don't get any kind of affiliate commission, this is simply me sharing something with you, have a look at ActiveCampaign, because it allows you to do all your email, all your automation, it allows you to add tags, and it allows you to build the automations. So here is me putting all my tags into ActiveCampaign. I imported all my Awebers into it. My status visitor, my Albert Hall shows. So I can tell they've been to that show, Albert Hall, show, Playboy Club. And I can start building up a profile of all the contacts of these tags. And I'm doing that all in ActiveCampaign. Okay? So there's me taking the card. And then I create this thing called a small review automation. All right? And it literally is. I'm just going to read it out. I add status visitor. It puts it into the review sequence. I send an email saying, did you like the show? I wait for 3 days. Did the contact reply? If they did, then put the tag on it. If they didn't, remove the tag. That's it. One simple automation. Very tiny automation, all done inside ActiveCampaign. And the whole point of it, oh yeah, I don't mean this. Anyone using Infusionsoft? I mean Infusionsoft. Right? I don't mean that. Please don't build loads of crap like that, right? Just do one little automation for one idea. For me, I just want to have people review the show once they've been to a show, okay? So that's the small automation. And I do mean a small automation, right? Asking for a review after the show, right? Now, this is the important thing to look at. This is the first email in the automation, right? It says, hi Mike, Lady Alex here. Lady Alex isn't me, it's my partner who runs the show. Thanks for coming to the show. We had a blast, hope you did too. I'd really love to know what you thought. If you wouldn't mind, please click on one of the cheeky links below. You will make a curious showgirl very happy. There are 5 links there. Loved it, enjoyed it, liked it, was okay, hated. Each one of those is a separate link. All right? Click on the link. If they loved it, they'll go straight through to the TripAdvisor, right? And if they get, I don't know if it worked, but yeah, there we go. It will show them how to go and leave the review, right? So they literally click on it, and it takes them to a page. Would you mind leaving us a review on TripAdvisor, right? And then that's the TripAdvisor. They leave the review. And if you want to look at a useful tool, look at recordit.co, and that will allow you to create an animated GIF just like I did. I'm just going to go 2 minutes over, okay? It's going to make an animated GIF just like I did just then, okay? Very useful. And then basically, this is the cool thing. If they click, they hated everything about it, do you think I'm going to send them to TripAdvisor? No. I'll say thank you so much. Would you mind leaving us some quick suggestions for improvement? Really, really love to hear from you. Yeah? Right? So I'm segmenting the conversation. Got it? That's the segmentation. You can do it in email. Segmentation rocks. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Right, so the rest of the small review automation, I'm just running out of time. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of this whole sequence, I then basically ask Wham Bam people whether they'd like to organise an office party with us, right? But I do that only if they click on the link. Would you like to become part, to have Wham Bam visit you? If they click on the link, then I will send them the whole sequence and automation around office parties. Okay. Now, next thing. Basically, what I'm trying to get at: small automations, chain them together. Okay. That's what we're really doing. Not big automations, little ones. Those little pieces, chain them together, ActiveCampaign. Okay? Now, oh yeah, the other thing is one simple idea per automation. Okay? Just one little idea, 2 minutes on that. One simple idea on every automation. Don't try and overcomplicate it or you just get nowhere. Right, now, the very last thing I want to talk about is what we're actually doing here. All right? Again, bringing it back to attention. What are we doing here? Who can guess? No one has ever said that. You can guess. What are we doing?
Leading a horse to water.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit. Brian?
Creating a conversation.
Yeah, but what are we doing in the conversation?
Relationship.
Yeah, close, it's good. See what we're doing? We're nudging. Right, get it? Nudging, yeah. Wicked, right? So we're nudging people along. You're not getting married on the first date, you've all heard that before. What we're doing is the fine art of nudging people along so they actually get what they want in the first place. All right? It's all about being personal, being relevant, being timely, nudging across the people along, taking small actions, and basically allowing people to look ahead a little bit, you know, showing the next bit of an email in advance, showing what happens after you click, so that you actually just, like you say, lead the horse to water, just nudge people along the conversation. Does that make sense? Automations, emails, nudging, yeah? Getting it? Cool, brilliant. What are we really doing? What we're really doing, guys, we're going to just turn to Breaking Bad for 1 sec, all right? What we're really doing, do you remember this series? How great was this series, right? What we're really doing, a movie basically picks people up from somewhere, all right? We pick people up from somewhere with a promise, like from a bus stop, and we take them because they have an interest, and we take them somewhere else. And that's really what we're doing, yeah? You know, I'm picking you up in this conversation, I'm taking you through a journey of attention and segmentation and conversation. I'm taking you from one place and I'm putting you somewhere else, just like a bus driver would do. That's right, guys, I am a bus driver, so you can trust me. That's it. So basically, just drawing this to a close, right? When you know the words, you know how to reach groups of people and join the conversation that's going on already in their heads. Conversations happening in their heads. You join it, get it? Words, wicked, right? Those are the conversations happening in their heads, right? Get it? Right. And then you flip the status quo into the conversation, flip the status quo. These are the final takeaways. Words are markets are conversations. Remember that from the beginning, right? Really? It's all a conversation. Find the conversation, status quo, flip it. Stop sending everything to everybody. Talk to smaller groups of better response. Take those 5 things away from you, right? My name has been Mike Mindel. This is Get Noticed, and I thank you. Right, let's take this one. This box here. Let me just. Can you flip that through your thread it through and then attach it to that. Yeah, just put it on there. I can do that. There you go. That's good. Should have worn a shirt. Cash, can you get his? Can you speak? And is it cool? Yeah, you can hear
You
me.
can hear me, yeah?
Sweet. All right, man. Cool.
Right, what about that one? There's no point.
That one's no point. I'll point it at you.
The clicker is.
You got it. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce you guys for the last 45 minutes. This is my good friend Jerry Jariwalla, the funnel guy, and he's going to talk to you about funnels.
Thank you, Mike. That was really interesting, even for me. So, I'm going to flip the conversation. Big funnels eat your money. Why? Anyone?
I don't know what a funnel is.
You don't know what a funnel is? Okay, stay tuned. We're going to get to that. Why big funnels eat your money? Because when you go out and try and build something massive and you don't know it's even going to float, the chances are you might have spent all this money building a huge boat and you get it in the water and it sinks. So what I like to do is I like to build small little boats, test if they float, and then make them bigger and bigger and bigger. Most lessons that you will learn on a smaller boat will often apply to a bigger boat. So why am I saying that? Because it really applies to funnels. Funnels are usually quite a complex process, and usually it needs a lot of thought, but if you start off small and then scale up, the chances are it will work. So funnels are the secret weapon that I've been using to turn over more than multiple 7 figures with my company Lockade in London since 2003. I've been featured in the Financial Times and other publications in London, and today I'm standing before you as the CEO of The Funnel Guy. So what are we going to learn today? What is a sales funnel? Why should you even care? How do you put a funnel together? And we're going to use one of the examples from my good friend Sanjay, who's in the nutrition market. So, what is the sales funnel? Brian, this is for you. A sales funnel is a series of steps that allows a company to guide the conversation with a customer into a buying decision, and often to a transaction, and often multiple transactions after that. And why do they work so well? Well, Walker Smith says, In 1970, we were exposed to around about 500 ads per day. That was in 1970. Today, each one of you is exposed to approximately 5,000 ads per day. Now, if you really think about it, all these messages are coming to you, all these conversations are coming to you by people like me, people like Mike, who are trying to get into your head and own the conversation. All right? So why do funnels work? Funnels work because we need to nudge you 5 to 8 times before you start even listening. You guys, consumers, we all need to be reminded of what the conversation is, because today I'm talking to you about funnels. 5 minutes ago, Mike was talking to you about conversations and email marketing. In about 10 minutes, someone's going to be nudging you for lunch. So in order to try and keep that conversation going, I'm going to send you an email. I might send you a message on Messenger. I might send you a different associated message on Instagram. And then I might send you a different message on Facebook. And when you're ready, and when the consumer is ready, and that's critical, guys, by the way, it's only when the consumer is ready will they then engage with you to then start the conversation and go through to purchase. So why should you care? Well, my friend Jerry Maguire, my namesake, should I say, a highly organized, thought out, well-oiled machine, which leads to multiple sales and transactions. And that's what we're all trying to do. Why should we waste our money by buying advertising, by buying media spend, only to have it used once? Why not recycle that? Something to think about. Buy your traffic once, enter the conversation, get thrown out of the conversation, but then re-enter it again when your consumer or when your prospect is ready. Jay Abraham, superstar marketer, one of my inspirations in this world, says there are only 3 ways to grow any business. It doesn't matter whether you're a light worker, whether you're a writer, whether you sell fidget spinners or vibrators. It really doesn't matter. Increase the number of customers, increase the amount that they spend with you, and increase the number of times they spend it with you. And to demonstrate this, Ryan Dice from Digital Marketer has created something called the CVO, Customer Value Optimization. Now, the funnel guy, me and my team, we use this process for every single business we start, every single product we sell, and every single company that we consult. And the goal is to create a series of actions that allows us to have and continue the conversation, to acquire, and most notably, keep the conversation going. And this is the model. Now, I'm not going to just leave it there. I will try and talk you through it. But this is the overview of the model. This is what a funnel looks like on paper. Now, I will talk you through a practical example of what it actually looks like. And guys, we will be sharing the slides with you as well. You just need to give us your email address at the end of the day. You might find yourself in a funnel, but I have value for you. So these are the steps. Determine the market. Actually, I'm not going to go through it one by one. These are the steps, and now I'm going to go through it one by one. So, first of all, you can't sell anything to anybody if it doesn't fit your market and it doesn't fit, if your product doesn't fit the market. And how do we determine that? It's all about feeling. It's all about that prospect. It's all about emotional desire. All of you in this room have something to sell. Whether you're selling it right now, or whether you'll sell it later, or whether You're not selling it, but you have something to sell. Whether it fits into the market is very simple. It's about state of mind of your prospect. How does that person feel at any given time before your product or your service and after your product or your service? So in my example, we're going to talk about Sanjay, the nutrition guy. We looked at this and had to evaluate whether he could add value to his prospects. How does that sprinter feel before he gets nutritional advice? What's his performance like before he gets nutritional advice? And how do they feel after they get nutritional advice? So that answering that question is very simple, negative or positive. If the consumer feels any kind of positive feeling after you've offered the service and they've consumed it, then automatically you can assume that you have a product market fit. Someone out there wants to buy your shit. Okay? So, how do we get our shit in front of people's faces? We're not going to just throw it at them, all right? Although sometimes that does stick. However, not in this case. We're going to channel people, we're going to start to get a conversation going. Most conversations today do not happen with billboards, do not happen with radio, do not happen with television. Who watches television here? One person in the room. Oh my God, I was not expecting that. Right, but that's my point. No one watches television anymore. Who's here on Facebook? Right, I think that's 99.5%, and the one of you that does not is very, very stubborn. So, we use Facebook ads, we use Instagram, we use LinkedIn, we use a whole medium of social media. As well as that, we consume information using YouTube. We get social proof from experts using blogs and websites. We use email to have and extend the conversation, because when you're ignoring me, when you're looking at my landing page, I will nudge you again with an email. And of course, when you're looking at your what are you looking at? You're looking at something online and you get a banner ad at the top. Of course, that's trying to pull your interest and re-enter the conversation. What happens then? We throw up an ad, we attract you to click on us, and we offer you a lead magnet. Mike touched on what lead magnets are. It's essentially a bribe. We bribe somebody with so much value that it's difficult to say no. But in exchange for that information, because you want that information, you're going to give me your email address right at the end of this talk. So the more leads you get into the top of the funnel. So are we here yet with the funnel kind of idea? All right. The more leads that we get at the top of the funnel, the better results you have down at the bottom. And it's at the bottom where the transactions happen, where the really juicy, sexy exchange of money happens, hopefully. So, examples of a lead magnet. A contest, a quiz. Who here has taken a quiz on Facebook? Did you have to exchange any information to take that quiz? The chances are yes. You had to give your email address, and then you could enter the quiz and possibly win a fantastic prize, something that you're interested in. Who here has seen adverts for something free on Facebook or Instagram? You can have this free, but give me your name, address, phone number, what underwear size you're wearing, and a whole host of other things. And if you're a sprinter, as we're going to see later, a free aspirational diet plan from a known star. We want to know if we're athletes. We want to know what Usain Bolt's eating. What makes that guy go faster than a cheetah? Is it the stuff that he's eating? That's entering the conversation. And please, guys, don't bloody send newsletters. We don't bloody want to know what you're doing, how many people you employed this month, what your turnover was, what company retreats you went on. We don't care. And nor do your consumers. That is information for you. That goes on to your internal communication to hype up your staff and get some motivation going. But your consumers, really, they couldn't give a crap. So, don't do that. All right? But do that if you're trying to attract consumers who are in the athlete market. If you're the nutrition guy, you want to do that, because that's relevant. These are the people that will click on that, and these are the people who you want to be able to nudge in the right direction. So we've got leads. We've got a whole host of leads because we've spent a whole load of money on Facebook. We then offered them something that they wanted, so they signed up. We now have what's called a list. What do we do with that list? What good's a list if we're not going to communicate with them and offer them something of even more value? Now, this is something called a tripwire. What's a tripwire? A tripwire is something that gives your prospect something of value in exchange for money. Now, it's not going to be a lot of money. How many people have been to somewhere where they have a beggar or a homeless person on their daily way to work? Anyone? Do you pass the same guy or girl or lady or family on the way to work or on the way to somewhere, and you see them regularly? The first time you saw them, you probably gave them 50 cents because that's in your heart. Next time, it was $1. And then next time, you said hi to him. He started having a conversation with you. Now you've got an emotional attachment with that guy because you see him every single day. Guaranteed, the next time you see him, it's going to be $5. The time after that, you'll find out that he's been on the street for a year. He doesn't have regular food. He's now really, really in your heart. He's in your mind. Once you start that conversation with that person, the idea of the tripwire is to get someone to get their credit card out. Once they give you a small amount of money in exchange for what they perceive to be extreme value, then they're in your funnel. So, a tripwire usually can be anything from £1. I've written 7, but usually it's anything from $1, £1, depending on where you are, to $37, approximately, depending on what your core product is. Now, if you're selling a 10,000 one-to-one course, then offering a $1 tripwire is not the way to do it. But there are other tripwires that will get the conversation going closer to that $10,000 ticket. Guys, you're not going to get rich off the tripwire. Let me just put it out there. That's not the intention. The intention is to just get them in the frame of mind to be comfortable enough to hand over some money. And once they've done that, they are mentally attuned to keep on giving you money. So once you've given them the value, for example, you could offer them a hardback meditation book for free, and they only pay shipping. Sanjay will give a yoga mat, for example, to his nutrition customers for $3, but everyone knows it's worth $20. He'll lose $17 to give it to you for three, just because he wants to have a continual conversation with you. Now, you've got Usain Bolt's guide. You've got his diet plan. Now you've got a yoga mat. You've got all this value already. You have continued the conversation with the autoresponder email sequences using things like ActiveCampaign, using things like ClickFunnels, which is a piece of software that I use. You offer them a tripwire at #silly price, because it is a silly price. It has to be a silly price. That might cost you money, all in the event from turning them from a prospect into a customer. There's a major difference between someone who has the intention to buy something and someone who actually buys something. I mean, you've all been there. You go, yeah, click, 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 click. But actually, how many of you have actually taken your credit card out? And usually it's a very minute percentage. So why would you do that? All because you're warming them up. You're heating the conversation up to be able to have the comfortability of someone able to give you even more value to provide them with your core product. So the next 3 steps are really where you actually make your money. You will get all your investment back that you've lost on the lead magnet, that you've lost on the tripwire, all throughout these next 3 steps. The first step is your core product. What is your core product? This is the one that we've all been waiting for. Because if you're the nutrition guy, you don't really want to sell yoga mats. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to sell yoga mats. I'm here to sell a nutrition plan. And I promise you guys, you do the first 2 steps and your conversions on your core product will go boom. Now imagine all your competitors, every single one of your competitors is currently just offering a core product. So if you're offering nutrition, you are currently just talking to your customer base saying, have a nutrition plan. Buy it now. Get into bed with me right now. But is it going to happen? Probably not. So after you've started the conversation, given them a lead magnet, given them a tripwire at extreme value, then you can offer what you really want to offer, because they've already got their credit card out, they've already got their money out, and they're now ready to give the money to you for your core product. But imagine if you did that core product at cost. Imagine what that would do. Who here has heard of Best Buy in the USA? Yeah? Right. Do you know that Best Buy make single-digit profit figures on selling you a laptop, a TV, or whatever other electrical items you might buy from them? Why? Why would they do that? Because they have the lead magnet, the tripwire, even the core offer at such value that you have to go to them to buy your goods. Because you'd be stupid not to go to the cheapest place for the same value. Why would you do that? But where they make their money is on the extra warranties they sell you, the extra service that they give you, the what's it called? The Geek Squad. That's a subscription-based model where every month you're paying $4.99 or whatever it might be to keep on paying them every month. And the chances are you'll probably forget about it, appears on your credit card statement, and you don't even look at it because it's such a small amount, but it happens every month. And sometimes you'll even continue that after you've even thrown the TV away. So, your competition don't have all of these things. Why? Because we have the whole funnel, including the profit maximizer. The profit maximizer is easily identified as the McDonald's Do you want to go large? Do you want fries with that? Do you want a drink with that? Who knows that it costs McDonald's $1.90 to go into your to get you to go into their drive-through? They sell you a hamburger for $2.09. They make 19 cents on you going into the into McDonald's to buy a hamburger. But that $2.09 has covered every single part of their expense. The labor, the workers, the marketing, the big yellow arches signs that we see everywhere. It covers everything. So when they ask you, do you want fries with that? And you go, yes, please. It's all profit. It's 100% profit. And that is a prime example of a profit maximizer. So guys, I want you to just take 2 seconds just to think about your core offer. What is your profit maximizer? If you're a nutritionist, are you going to give them a subscription model? If you're a light worker, are you going to get them into a course that they pay every single month? If you're a writer, will you give them 5 pieces of copy for 12 months for X amount of period? What is really your profit maximizer? Think about that. That's really, really key. That is where the sexiness happens, guys. Onto the return path. Often the bit that most people leave out. Once someone's bought from you, how many times do you actually call them? How many times do you talk to them again? How many of you have a product that you sell once? Anyone that sells a product once here? What do you sell, sir?
DVDs.
DVDs, right? So there's a prime example. If you sell that DVD once, your profit maximizer might be a subscription model. Netflix, prime example. But what Netflix do really, really well is they keep on sending you information about this new show. It was Breaking Bad, and now it's Orange is the New Black, or whatever it is that floats your boat. But what you'll notice that if you're a Netflix subscriber, you will continuously have another email, you will have another advert pop up on your Facebook. If you unsubscribe, you'll get an email to say, here's a voucher off. Okay, Netflix is not going to give you $100 off, but if you're offering a course and your customer buys one type of course from you, you can continue the conversation on the return path by offering them something else, another tripwire, another lead magnet, to get them re-entering the conversation and give them a voucher or something that they value to come and transact with you again. The purpose of the return path is not to stop talking to your clients. Don't let your competition get in there. Why would you? They're already yours. You've already paid for the adverts. You've already got them in your lead magnets. You've already created them into your lists. You've already tagged them. You know what they like, what they don't like. You know all this through your funnel. Why would you let them go? Imagine yourself, you have a date, you have a coffee with them, you then take them for lunch, then you take them for dinner, and then you get them into bed. That's your core product. What happens next? My profit maximizer. I'm going to take her on a weekend away. Imagine what she would feel like if I left her on the bloody island and I never spoke to her again. What an asshole. Don't be that guy. So guys, the return path. Really, really critical, really, really interesting, and often misunderstood and often left out. Keep talking to them. So, I'm going to quickly go into the nutrition guy. Now you might be thinking, why is he the nutrition guy? Why am I the funnel guy? Because it's all about positioning. It's all about being able to enter the conversation. Some of you I've met here, some of you say, what do you do? I build funnels. I create funnels. I have done for the last decade and more. So that's why Sanjay came to me and said, I want to offer this service, but I'm going to build a practice in Holland. I need money. I need to get a bank loan and all that. And I said, no, you don't, because you're the nutrition guy. You've positioned yourself to be an expert in what you do. So if you do that, then it's very easy to get into the conversation. It's very unlikely that you guys are going to think funnels and not think of me. And that's not just because I'm pretty. But all kidding aside, the nutrition guy's core offer is a one-off nutrition plan. This is how we're going to get it from a one-off to a continuous path of multiple transactions. Are you ready? So, this is something that we are planning, guys. This is not something that's been proven in this particular case. But it has been proven many, many times over and over again in lots and lots of different markets. But I'm just giving you this example because it's something that we are about to do and that will get results. So, the nutrition guy uses a quiz to get his leads. The quiz is a lead magnet. Why is the quiz a lead magnet? Because before they even get to play our game and get a chance to win the prize, email. Give me your email address, says the nutrition guy. So you enter the conversation, you attract people to get into your quiz, you get their email address, and the winner gets the prize. The rest who entered agree to be marketed towards by Sanjay. He'll still keep on talking to you. He's the nutrition guy. You already are interested because you clicked on the ad and you went through the effort of going through the quiz. That gives us an idea that you might be interested in nutrition because the prize was a free nutrition plan. So, is this all making sense, guys? Great. So, the list of emails that we collected, we've assumed, and this is a bit clever because we know that we've used the follow-on pathway to understand that these people are interested. So what do we do now? We use ClickFunnels or we use ActiveCampaign to send them a series of emails so that when they are ready, when the consumer is ready to take up your offer, your irresistible offer, you are there in their mind having the conversation. So this is an example of what the landing page might look like. This is the landing page for the tripwire. Sanjay knows that they are athletes, most likely. He knows that they value nutrition. He also knows that they're human and will definitely value a crazy offer. So we're going to offer you Usain Bolt's diet plan for only $3.97. We're getting you to get the credit card out. Once you get the credit card out, we are targeting approximately 20% of the leads will convert into an acceptance of that offer. We will say that out of the 3,000 leads we got from the lead magnet, by spending $150, we'll get 3,000 leads. Out of those 3,000 leads, we'll put them into an auto sequence, a drip campaign. 20% of those leads will convert to accept the offer, and you will generate $2,382 from that. It's probably not enough to actually go and buy Usain Bolt's diet plan. So the chances are you're going to lose money here, unless you just make it up, but I would not recommend you do that. So here we now have 600 buying customers who are engaged. We know that you want something to do with diet. We know that you're interested in what we have to offer. What follows now is the core offer. The normal cost of a personalized nutrition plan in Sanjay's market is between $60 and $80. That's if you go and see the person in person, you have to drive, get stuck in traffic, find parking, get a parking fine, then look at the ugly guy in the face and tell him what you eat and what you shit for a week. So, really, do you want to do that? No, no need. Sanjay can offer that at a much more cost-effective price by just speaking to you on Skype or any other form of communication. So he makes his engaged list an irresistible offer. For $47, I will give you a personalized nutrition plan. And we're approximately 20% cheaper than the rest of the market, and you don't have to get a parking fine, and you don't have to get stuck in traffic, and you don't have to look at my ugly face. You can just do it over the phone and give me the information by filling out this survey. And I will get the information that I need to give you what you need back. So this is once again the landing page. He knows there are athletes. He knows that they value nutrition, and he knows the market price, and he knows he can beat it, as well as delivering the same, if not better, value. So we'll offer a personalized nutrition plan for $47. 10% of my 600 will convert to accept that offer at this particular time, because not everyone is going to want that offer right now. You're not going to be able to sell to someone that doesn't want to buy right now. If I don't want to buy, I'm not going to buy. I'll buy when I'm ready to buy. 10% of those people will be ready to buy on average. That will generate me a nice chunky 2,820. But remember what I said. Imagine if I could do it at cost, and my cost was even less than $47. I would completely consume the whole market, because I wouldn't need ads either, because the athlete who bought this will go and tell all the other athletes that he trains with that you can get a nutrition plan and it's awesome, and it's like so cheap compared to the guy in the office that sits in the most expensive part of your town. Now we have a list of 60 customers who are engaged with us and have bought our core offer. Remember, the core offer is what I'm really good at. How am I doing for time? Thank you. So, the profit maximizer. Sanjay knows that this guy's an athlete. He knows that this guy needs to change his diet regularly. Why? Because his body is changing, his performance is improving, and as his performance is improving, we need to continually change the diet. So wouldn't it be a fantastic idea if I could give you a whole year's worth of nutrition planning for even cheaper? But you pay now, and I'll give you the service. So for the further 11 months of planning, one a month for $27. Now people in my market are charging $60 to $80. How much value is that? If you were an athlete, would you not buy this offer? Of course you would. So he offers great value. He knows they're athletes. He knows they like nutrition. He knows they want value. He knows that he can offer the same value, if not better. So he gets the profit maximizer, which calculates as only 18 people out of the 3,000 that we started with. So we've gone from 3,000 all the way down to 18. But those 18 people are the people that will pay me $5,346. Is this all flowing, guys? Yeah, is it making sense? So, the maths. We spent $500 to get 30,000 leads. Sorry, we get 30,000 clicks on the advert. 10% of them are interested. 3,000 play the quiz. And that gives us a cost of 17 cents per lead. So we pay 17 cents per lead. Out of that, 3,000 leads. We charge $3.97 for our Usain Bolt plan. 20% of those people will convert to 600 sales. 2,382. The next one, core offer. 60 people buy for 2,820. The next one, the profit maximizer, out of those 60 people, 18 people will buy a one-time offer of 11 months nutrition planning for next to nothing. That brings in 5,346. This funnel brings in $10,548 on the plan. The cost of the ads is $500. $10,048 profit before we've even talked about the lifetime value of these people coming back. Because the people in this part, the 60 people, will get another offer in the return path a week later to say, by the way, you missed out on this. Do you want it now? Now that you've consumed my one-time offer, my core value product, are you now ready to go for 11 more months because you now know how it feels? Some people will then convert at that stage. The people that didn't convert there, that didn't want to do the Usain Bolt right now, maybe 3 weeks later they get another email from the nutrition guy to say, are you ready now? And that is how the return path will carry on giving you value into your funnel. So you're taking people back out, back in, through the emails, through the social media, and it's just a cycle. And what we do at the Funnel Guy is create these funnels. We stack these funnels because there are 100 additional ways of adding to this offer. We know how to do that. You will know how to do that. If you're interested, please leave us your email. We'll talk to you about it, no problem. And that's it, guys. So that is what a funnel is. Is there anybody here in the room that doesn't know what a sales funnel is now? Great, that's fantastic. So thank you very much. My name is Jerry Jariwalla, and I thank you. So.
Have we got time just to do some questions, or does it have to be a hard close at 2?
Well, I think we can have 5 minutes.
Yeah?
5 more minutes.
All right, shall I go up with you?
Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. So just to be fair,
So-
I know this chap was wanting to ask some questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, throw your questions at us. We have 5 minutes. Go.
Yeah, I just wanna, if you can go back to a previous slide, you said 0.17. Where do you get that amount? Because like it's about $1 at the moment. Like this is like very cheap. Where do you pay this $500?
Where do we pay it?
I mean, sorry. What are you using to get that lead? Because
It could be a various-
$70 is extremely cheap. Like right
Yeah.
now, it's about 89 cents to $1.17 for the market in vet weight loss market. That's how much. What
It
is
depends. It really depends.
Now.
So it could be a variety of sources. It could be YouTube. It could be lots of different sources. I've not named the source, but we tend to get our ads at sub 50 cents.
So
We are very good at targeting customers.
what's the source?
that you'll have to buy my course for. So
I
yeah.
think the point is that there's YouTube ways of doing YouTube ads are cheaper than Facebook ads, and the way you target the ads also gets them cheaper, obviously, than more expensive.
We're very good at micro targeting. If you go for a mass audience and say everybody, yes, you'll pay $1 to $3, and sometimes in the insurance market you'll even pay $100 a lead, and even more. But if you really know your audience and you work with professionals who really know how to micro target your audience, you will pay less per lead.
It's also one thing I want to add to that is if you get what they call the message to market match right, so the ad is very specific and targeted, going through to a very specific landing page, a bit like with AdWords as well, you tend to pay less per click because you're not doing a general ad, you're being very relevant.
Yeah, I think the key point here is, I don't want to labor the point too much, but we're not going for the mass weight loss market, we are going for athletes.
Yeah.
All right, and that's why our cost of acquisition is so low, because we can really target the athletes.
Another question, that chap over there.
I was going to ask you the same, like, for how can you get 30,000 clicks for $500? It's like amazing, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, you must be really good at Facebook ads, you know.
It's not 30,000 leads. It was 30,000 clicks.
Yeah. Anyway, like 30,000 clicks for $500 is like amazing.
Yeah.
Because if you can get that, it's a really good return for your investment, and
yeah.
that amount of clicks every month, for example, you can then optimize the landing page and get even more leads.
Of course,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
For me,
retargeting.
In my experience, getting that amount of clicks for like that amount of money is like impossible. So like just
yeah,
that is amazing.
Check out doing YouTube. Honestly, it's the cheapest. YouTube is the cheapest form.
Yeah.
Actually, I use
also LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a really good way of doing it.
Videos.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about videos in Facebook. Like
yeah.
videos in Facebook have like a really cheap cost per click right now. Engagement really high.
You can get 1 to 4 cent clicks on YouTube.
Yeah, so
and that's really good.
That's Facebook videos, like
videos.
Yeah, and then you can use them in YouTube,
it's the multiple
Instagram.
sources. Yeah. Not just Facebook because it's more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. No, and the other question was the conversion rates you mentioned, like 13 and 10 and 20. Are these?
They're projected. They're projected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is there any reason why you chose those kind of conversion rates?
Just based on experience.
Okay.
Like we did a campaign last month where we spent $60 to get 2,700 leads onto a list of qualified people. So that was in a different space. That was a very targeted audience, but it can happen. That was something like 80% conversion rate. It was insane.
Yeah.
Mike, after 20 years, has never seen anything like that. We got something like 3,400 people land on the page and 2,600 or something like that. I don't have the exact number to actually.
I'm gonna leak something. Actually, it was a Facebook campaign and it was super freaking cheap cost per click.
Yeah.
I tell you, there is so much traffic available on Facebook and YouTube right now that's super cheap. So I've seen this campaign.
Yeah, you need to give another talk about that.
Yeah, maybe we should.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
I was amazed by the response.
So like you get more conversions on the first offer than less on the second one.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
key.
like,
The key is to make the top of. Yeah. The key is really to make the top of the funnel as wide as possible, to get as many people in as possible, and that 3,000 doesn't end up at 18. You've got 10,000 ending up at 60, right at the bottom.
I think we've got time for one more question, so go on. This chap.
Sorry, that was great. That was really useful. And I knew about the funnel, but not all the specific terminology. But what the questions that were coming up for me is that clearly you can't just think about it from a marketing point of view. You got to think about it from merchandise.
Yeah.
You have to have the products at each of those specific levels.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a little hard for me to wrap my brain around the specific things that I have to offer and how to fit them into those particular spots.
Yeah.
Do you remember do you mind if I answer?
Yeah.
Do you remember the conversation we had about the lead magnet in my talk?
Yeah.
About enter the conversation, flip it, and then give that as your lead magnet?
Yeah.
Yeah, use that. PDF, video,
Sure.
report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
do that. And then
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and then expanding out from that, it's just like I get the math that you got there. I'm not too hung up on the cost of ad buys. I mean, I get the basic concept of it, but there's an implementation cost that's not
Yes,
associated in
of
there.
course.
And I'm just, how to sort of figure that out, that initial investment into creating that funnel and how that works out over time. If there's any idea how to factor that cost in, or what that looks like. And that's probably your big offer that you're selling.
Yeah, just to put it out there, I'm not selling anything here.
Neither of us are selling anything.
Well, I understand that, but you do have
this is what
services and products that you're associated with that probably going back.
Absolutely.
We're going to learn about it at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, at some stage, if you are interested in knowing what the Funnel Guide does, I'll happily talk to you about what the Funnel Guide does. It's an agency, it is a business, and what we do as a business is actually take all of what I spoke about and take it away from you, so you focus on developing your core product. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has something to offer. If you focus on what your gift is, then the chances are you're going to be able to produce more content and really excel at your gift, and then outsource the stuff that you don't want, the accounting, the marketing, all the things that you're really not good at or you don't want to do. You don't want to do admin. It's not good use of your time. Outsource it to a VA. You don't want to do accounting. Outsource it to a bookkeeper. The chances are that you can find them online.
Cool, guys. Do we have time? Are we okay for one more? Everyone okay for just one last one? Okay, fine. Come, please do.
Okay, so when you talk about email marketing, obviously you have to talk about the audience as well, right? Like the readers. Based on your experience, how many emails are actually too many? Like from your magnet to the actual core offering?
Russell?
Do you mind?
Go on, Russell.
I'll ask from my perspective.
Before
So
they started unsubscribing, obviously.
It's really simple. When you segment people and you speak to them in the language they want, then you ask them to click on something. If they click on it, great, send them another email, talk to them. If they don't click, don't bug them. So use the automations to work out the pace at which to speak. Because there's nothing worse than just keep sending email after email after email until people buy or die. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Use segmentation and watch what they click. Active campaign, great.